we've got a match in our hands, and I don't want to take it away from the players. Dark Shadows, they're like a decent, I think, Latin America or South American team. I'm not quite sure, but I know they're Spanish speaking.
Mhm.
Aether is a project. I was actually speaking to Rocky80 because I'm in a server with him today. It's a project of the players that we see on screen. Very, very new team, but I'm 5-0 in groups. So Draconif is a player I rate really highly. Kinetsu coming from Barracuda and Rocky80 coming from Nova. So a bit of a lower division team, but trying to step up here and doing really, really well. So yeah, we're going to see these comps come out. The Tentagrella, Nautilus Machine, very aggressive comp. And we see this custom Jet Scorcher, pretty, I'd say, standard comp from Aether here as we go into Rainmaker on the Reef.
Yeah, I was just going to mention as well, like you're seeing immediately from, I believe, Dark Shadows is the existing team, right? So they are very comfortable. They know what they all play like. They know that they can all play like a weapon they're more comfortable with. And you're seeing every single project at this point just starts like a very standard comp. But as you said, like Draconif especially, a very well-known player on Jet Sculpture right now. Although the first momentum is quickly going to Aether, I believe. So.
Yeah, Dark Shadow's taking the quick leader. There's Dark Shadows on the green side. But honestly, I'd say right there, that highlights the weakness of custom Jet Scorcher because Aether are going to get really, really far now. Because even though, yeah, you get the Ray early, if you can't find initial pick with it, which I'm not saying, you won't always, but if you can't find the initial pick with it, your team's then left with a 3v4 no matter how good you are, if the team's good at dodging it. And that just allows other teams to get to 30 so quickly considering it's Rainmaker. Against the 10 shield as well, made it really, really hard for Aether. Now they've got to try and make a comeback, which I'd say, getting past 29 on Rainmaker 3 4 minutes, definitely not too hard. But we're just seeing kind of Aether poking up their spawn right now, trying not to feed, building up his armor, and quite close to that special to start going through this. We'll already see an inkjet being popped on the side of Aether along the ink armor.
Yeah, Aether right now trying to keep that momentum up or trying to at least get some control back. They have a pretty big deficit to go through. Already that tent umbrella once again, as you mentioned before as well, like the tent is just such a nightmare to deal with in Rainmaker, especially the Stingray. If you just barely can't hit your shots, there's just nothing you can do. Like that tent, that Rainmaker will just survive everything.
Yeah, definitely. And having that tent shocking out of the hammer actually managed to survive even though they're pushed. I guess people backed up after they lost their ends. Oh no, the K-shot player going down to the hammer, and that's Dark Shadow still in control of the map. The 10 player finally going down will lead them into a 4v3 situation. We've got the Stingray coming online as well, and should hopefully be pushing up with it, but they lose their machine player before getting the push going. The armor's now popped to Dark Shadows, and they're going to be able to, start moving up again slowly. Rise pushes really, really aggressively here. Not quite able to get the pick, and will eventually get punished, but actually creating a bit of space, stalling out the game, because if Dark Shadows can just keep stalling out the game for 3 more, minutes, then they've won, because their push is so big. So if they just they don't really need to get another push going. They can keep stalling like this over and over and over. It's going to be hard for Aether to really do anything if they can't break through their stall.
That's very true, but at the same time, this is not, as you mentioned before, this is not a map where it's very hard to break the lead. Like, all you really need to get is one wipe. This is still Rainmaker after all. Like, getting a wipe is an enormous deficit, or getting wiped is an enormous deficit, and all they really need is that one opening, and 29 is broken just like that. So,
yeah,
I think they should probably still be trying to push.
That's very true. I assume they will try and start pushing now with those 2 picks. They've only got the NZ player and custom Jet player alive on the side of Aether, but it doesn't look like Dark Shadows is quite grabbing. I guess that armor player wants to prop it before they get the Rainmaker, and they do, but they fall off the bridge, so still no one holding the Rainmaker. Let's see if members of Dark Shadows can get any picks to retaliate. There's only a trade right there, but Hedu the Junior is actually going very, very aggressively. Finds 2 somehow on the flank right there. Not getting punished quite yet, but it does eventually go down. But, I mean, if your Junior is flanking and finding 2, then that's definitely value.
I don't know how he managed, honestly, but at the same time, I'm also not sure how that machine managed to survive using a splashdown whatsoever in 2021. So getting through that, getting the pick on that junior, and the momentum stalling very quickly, but now finally seeing another push coming out. And so as I said, they are definitely still trying to get more of a lead going, because they know that it's not, like 29 is not an instant win. That Stingray coming out, and 2 people going down on their side. So at this point, the momentum is looking like it's going to swing back, especially just now the Nautilus alive. So the momentum really should be switching back now with only 1 minute 20 to go.
Oh, it should, but that inkjet was really, really well popped by the Nautilus player. It does only find 1 pick against the trade, but slows down the Rainmaker heavily, ready for those balls to come in. Maxim right now is going to start pushing up aggressively, but they're just so scared of this 10 shield, and they're not wanting to go up into it. They're now 4 people, but they're still stuck on mid, and then, the Rainmaker's only got 40 seconds to push. You spent 20 seconds to push to standing in mid right now. They need to try and find some sort of special opportunity to go back in, but they get the pick. This is probably the situation they're going to need to start moving forwards, but they're going into a hammer and a 10 umbrella shield, and yeah, they lose their Rainmaker carrier actually. Bit of a tough situation, but maybe they'll be able to continue the push with a couple of picks on that side.
Yeah, Maxim right now, all the way to 41 at least. Maxim, once again, getting the land that splashdown. I don't know what this man is on, but whatever he's taking, I want it. Picking up the Rainmaker, and that is the lead. Like, immediately. It's so free. On this map, you just need to get through once, and now it's gonna have to be, I believe that is Dark Shadows who have to answer to this.
Yeah, Dark Shadows only have 30 seconds now, and that's the problem. Like you said, they've been stalling in mid the entire game. They won't go to these big pushes after they got their initial one, and then one falter, they're out. If they had the one falter while being in the enemy spawn, it's so much longer of a journey to retake the lead, but like you said, you predicted the future, Aether, and Aether took the lead, but they still do have this overtime push, and it can definitely happen. But the Ray's going to make it very, very hard. The Rainmaker already low, and yep, gets taken out in the last few seconds, and Aether taking that game back in the middle. And honestly, it wasn't even, normally Rainmaker kind of comebacks like this are very, very explosive. But it wasn't even that explosive because of kind of the slow story playstyle that Dark Shadows was going for. One break and suddenly the entire game just fell apart from Rainmaker to a much slower mode now in splat zones. Well, it doesn't have to be slower, but can definitely turn down the pace if this 10 spoiler player wants to. But we'll see what these teams bring out here.
Looking for a very similar comp as last time. So I believe they might probably just all be one tricks of the weapons that they're playing right now.
Yeah.
Basically, I believe that's the exact same comp, and a Tri-Slusher, I mean, come on, obviously, this map, if you are a flex of any kind, you're going to be playing Tri-Slusher on this map. It's like the one where tries always see.
Yeah, tries, well, apart from Blackbelly, but, we'll definitely accept Marco's close second. But Konetsu's going really, really aggressively here, but actually the slow playstyle, paying off. Alpha able to punish Konetsu there and start moving forward now, but it looks like the aggressiveness of Aether is actually running over Dark Shadows. They played too slow on their side. Maxim's able to come forward with the Tri-Slusher, just go over the 10 and take a lot of control, but maybe a bit too aggressively now gets punished, and Dark Shadows already have an opportunity to start pushing back in regardless of Aether's early lead. So we'll have to see if they can stop it with the Bomb Rush, but Bomb Rush isn't happening if you get taken out like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that was really what they wanted to have. They wanted to have their specials ready. They wanted to be able to counter the push back in from Aether, but no way when that machine just kind of janks his way into the Charges' life and takes him out straight away. And at this point, the momentum swing back in favor of Aether, I believe. So I almost wanted to say finally just splashdown got cancelled, but he didn't even get to use it. I still want to see him get taken down. It's just a personal vendetta at this point.
Yeah, it's like, I don't get my splashdown. My splashdowns never live this long. It's not allowed. Like, this is just unfair.
I don't like it.
But either way, Dark Shadow is still in control, but the players are looking a bit kind of back and forth between the teams. It looks like another trade on the zone, so very, very scrappy fights there. I kind of want to see Aether just take a moment, take a breather, pull back a bit, charge up their double armor, charge up their missile, and go in that way. Because right now we've seen a lot of scrappy individual plays, but maybe it's going to work. He's going to run into a bomb like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that Junior was already really dancing on the edge of death right there. Like, he pushed up really far in when the entire other team was alive, trying to take the front lines while he had his armor ready. I was like begging for him to stay back and just play defensive, use his armor. And then he finally goes back and he gets taken out by a janky bomb like that. And now, once again, I believe that is Aether pushing right now. The score is ticking down, 2 down on the side of Dark Shadows as well. So it looks like they're going to be taking a pretty free lead right now.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that. A much more coordinated push from Aether, and it does result in a full wipe. As long as they keep a nice defense and not get any individuals picked off, this should be a really, really nice defense on the line, especially with the opening 10 missiles slow them down. And armor coming very, very shortly online for Rocky. Should be a nice defense here, but we're going to see the armor and inkjet combination popped by Aether. Sorry, Dark Shadows start moving in along with the splashdown. Zone's going to get painted. 2 picks coming onto their side, but not before being traded by Rocky 80, but Rocky 80 is taken out. It's only the Charger on the side of Aether, and Charger 1v3s probably not going to happen against the 10 team.
Yeah, definitely not. But I liked what I saw there. You saw the machine trying to come in from the left side. The tent, of course, like, the tent is scary. Everyone knows where he is. Everyone's looking at him, and it forms a distraction. Machine coming in from the other side, getting to land that splash on zone, taking someone out in the meantime, which I'm sure wasn't even intended. But the zone, of course, flipping in the other direction once again. And now it is Dark Shadows who's holding, but losing it again. It's just so hard for them to keep it. Like, there's not even any real special usage coming out from the other side. It's just that they keep painting the zone better and just getting back into mid.
Yeah, I really like the falling back from Edu. Actually, a lot of teams in their defensive plays, they'll just try and take the fight on zone. Edu actually backing up, giving them a bit of space with the bomb rush, and then punishing the try that went too far. Really, really crucial in keeping their team in this game, and does actually give Dark Shadows quite a nice advantage here. Very, very close to them taking the lead, actually, but the Bomb Rush and Armor is alive on the other side against the Inkjet and Hammer that is ready of Dark Shadow. So this is going to be a pretty crucial team fight coming up as Eddie does get taken out early and instant flip for Aether. The Hammer does come through to get 2 picks, but it's a 2v2 situation. In fact, the 10th Umbrella is all alone, but it's now a 1v1. The trade come through, and now it's just a case of versus 10th Umbrella. 10th going very aggressively and does actually take the zone. Dark Shadows are able to come ahead in the fight, but Aether is able to stop the lead.
Oh, he got sendoed. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, the momentum is swinging back and forth really hard in this game, which is nice to see. But Jesus, how are they constantly cutting that zone so quickly? At least they all know how this mode works, right? Like even if you're like doing a skirmish, trying to take out some members on the other side, just paint the zone a little bit in the meantime. You never know what you can make happen. And just getting that quick little cap can be enough. And we just saw it. Like they managed to take or sustain the lead just by quickly getting all of those bombs exploding at the same time. It's great.
Yeah, and now I'm really confident in Aether's defense. They popped 3 specials on it, although maybe a bit too early. They do get the armor make also bomb rush off, but I feel like they popped them way before Dark Shadow got zone. So Dark Shadow had to wait a little bit, and now they're going to go in and they're going to reclaim the zone in the last 20 seconds. And they're not far off the lead, Beta. Only 30 penalty points-ish, and they've got the lead already.
Yeah, it's about 20 seconds, so it's one more chance, a nice trade between the Junior and the Tri. So now it is 2v3, which is, 1v3. That 10 is going to have to make something magical happen. He does get a pick on zone, which is nice, but he's going to lose it right now, and there's no way he can get it back in time. That's very unfortunate, but my God, what a game.
What a game indeed. Aether going to take the lead 2-0. I'm not quite sure if it's best of 3 or best of 5. I'm going to need to look that up because I should have checked beforehand. But either way, a nice lead or set win from Aether. We'll see depending on what happens on the stream. But I do think they played that really, really if they can take advantage of this map coming through and if they're able to pick up a map in the start of their reverse sweeper.
That would be very nice to see. But also at the same time, Clamblitz is one of those modes where you never really know how good the opponents are. Like it's you can never pretend. Like sometimes a team that is really normally struggles with this mode and suddenly they'll just like immediately knock out in 2 minutes. It all depends on. I mean, part of it is luck, right? This is the one mode where RNG is a big factor based on like how clams spawn. So that's always I mean, it can always be a struggle.
It definitely can be, but I've got to say, I love this bamboo pick coming out from Draconis. If you're going to shut down the Tenterella with any kind of charger, it's going to be the bamboo, but the machines are going to trade very, very early on in this match, but the machines, the favor will be going to Dark Shadows even after the trade. Going to take out 2 more, only leaving that bambooster player alive on the side, just trying to put some pressure on, not allowing for Junior to move forward any further, and it's going to be Alpha now, pushing up this fight with the hammer. Oh, a nice double kill with that hammer, moving forwards now, and going to be chucking it to the other side of the map. Going to be scoring this clam now and getting the lead early on. For Dark Shadows.
If you even want to call it a lead, that's very true. Already, they've, like, I believe Aether is pushing back into mid really hard straight away, barely giving Dark Shadows any room to breathe. The machine going all the way to top left, and once again, somehow gets the land. I'm still mad. I will keep pointing it out. He always gets to land that splashdown, but it backs out very safely. A good play, I think. The trade of the armor coming out. Nautilus on left side challenging and beating that machine. And now, once again, it looks like Dark Shadows is going to get back into mid.
Yeah, unless Konetsu can win the 1v5 against 10 machine Naught on the K-shot, then it's not going to be happening. Does able to jump back to a teammate, so keeping the foul count in the game very, very useful for the team. Going to be blasted out of the bamboos. I don't want to be holding it as a K-shot. Just going to be sharking around, trying to find something on their plat, but not quite yet. As we end now, moving up as a 4-man squad. Only 2 people left alive to defend on the side of Aether. Will mean Dark Shadows is going to get a strong lead here, scoring a ton of clams, going to get all the way almost below 30 as the Tetra player is going to cause a lot of distraction up on their plat. Well, it does get taken down by, I believe, a bomb, but it's only 5 clams needed to knock out this game. So we're going to have to see if they can get them through on time. Looks like the Naught player is struggling to try and find it, but no. Aether strong with the defense, able to keep it up, and they have 3 minutes to turn this, which on Clan Blitz, I'd say that's definitely very possible.
That's definitely true. On this map especially, I've seen many like sweeps from all the way from 100 to 0 on this map in my time. 10 almost going down to that random suction bomb right there, but thankfully surviving because that 10, you want that 10 alive. That 10 is doing so much work, as you mentioned as well, for the team right now especially. It's the Junior throwing some bombs at the Bamboo, trying to keep them at a distance. They really want to just push again. Bamboo jumping to God knows where. But it looks like even if he wanted to score, that Junior was definitely first. So once again, a push coming out from Dark Shadows, and they are really showing their strength here right now.
Yeah, definitely showing their strength right now on this mode. You know, as I said, if you're going to get a reverse sweep on any mode, it's going to be this one. And I've got to say, we didn't mention the map, but having a Machine and Nautilus player on health back as well, really, really, really strong. So I feel like if you can just get weapons with very, very heavy firepower with that kind of medium range, it can be really, really hard to fight on this map. And that's what we're seeing on the side of Aether. They have that K-Shot player who, you know, as a player, not a slouch by any means, but playing K-Shot into Naut and Machine and 10 is definitely not an enjoyable experience.
Absolutely not. And I mean, K-Shot is not great on mid on this map because it's so humpy, but also this, like where the tent is right now, it's just one big long straight, so you're gonna like lose to everything that even slightly outranges you, which I believe is literally everything except for the junior on the other team's comp right now. So I don't know if, I definitely don't think K-Shot was the right choice here, but hey, who knows? Like there's still a minute and a half left, they have a power clam. Maybe.
Yeah, but they're really going to need to remove Alpha from the plant, which, oh, they do. They all turn on them at once, get all the bombs on the shield, and immediately eradicate Alpha. Going to be moving forwards now with this power clamp on the side of Maxim, trying to find some space, but, oh, the Machine player gets picked off on mid. So they've only got a minute to start pushing, and they're in a 3v4 situation. Not looking good. 0 clams, Rocket 80 going down, and it's going to be Dark Shadows getting another push with 2 big baskets at the ready. This shield is also there. No armor, though, so Eddie might actually get taken out, going in a bit too late. Nice little bit of splatter dash, but does get removed regardless. Alpha on the elbow trying to stay on the side of their flat, but it looks like the Nautilus player will actually come through and score the clam regardless, so they're back in the range of 2 clams to win the game.
They are, but I'm not sure if I like that play. I feel like at this point it's mostly just greed and trying to show off because they really don't need to push anymore. And they really shouldn't be pushing. They had no follow-ups whatsoever. So all they really did with this is just give a free power clam to the other team. So but now they have to make that work. Like they have one shot, and again, that K-Shot going down has really not been the greatest weapon pick for this map so far, that's for sure. They only have one shot, 2 people going down, however, on the side of Dark Shadow. So maybe, just maybe, with 50 seconds left to spare and some overtime coming in, maybe they can make it work. They're going to have to push in hard now, though, and that 10 is scary sitting by that basket.
Yeah, the Journey's pushing now, but they lose both their shooter players. Dragonave tried to go through and make something happen, but unfortunately not going to happen. That's going to be Dark Shadow. Oh, never mind. Maxim comes through with a score on that power clam, but it doesn't look like there'll be any follow-up. Yeah, that's going to be Dark Shadows taking their footing in this series, making it a 2-1 situation in this best of 5. And the Nautilus player, I believe, going 18 KA. So really strong performance from them on this map.
How do you already...
It's on the top of the screen.
Oh, I never look at those. That's a...
Yeah, I looked at the top of the screen. I'm pretty sure I saw 18. It might have gone up now, but let me see. I should have pretended I was... Oh, 19. I should have pretended I was... Especially with that Nautilus and Machine player on your team. I think those weapons are really going to excel on this map mode.
Oh, certainly. Especially if they're picking it again. And they are.
Oh.
But, ooh, the duty sculpture's coming out.
Yeah, this Tenta.
The Tenta, brother. So he's still not...
Yeah.
He's deciding not to pick it here, which... I mean, it's fair. Like, I feel like I see where they want to play those duties and where they are coming from. It's Vanilla's, I believe, as well. So he's going to just go for Missile Spam, which is honestly fair in tower controls. So I definitely don't disagree with the pick, but I feel like you might as well have just not played Tentabrella in that Raymaker match as well if you're not a Tentabrella one trick.
Yeah, but maybe deciding, you know, making the adaptation mid-series. But either way, regardless of the adaptation, Aether able to move up really, really quickly and get this advantage early on. Getting rid of the Nautilus player as well on their push. This could really snowball out of control if they can't remove Maxim. Lands the splashdown once again and still living up on their plat. Isn't able to find any more picks quite yet, but just stalling so much time and allowing the team to get such an early lead. Is actually probably going to push anyway here unless the Enzar player is able to find multiple picks. Does actually jump out somehow, but regardless, I'd say a nice start on the side of Aether. And they're keeping the Stingray since the Charger Flight got out alive.
Man, I was trying to think of what to say. I had something in mind, and then I saw that Charger just jumping out after getting shot at for 3 seconds, and I lost everything. I'm so confused. But that was a good push for sure. I mean, that armor coming out, and it cancelled it immediately. That Nautilus, you really don't want him going down. And the Junior and Nautilus trying their best to work together as much as they can. I believe it's the Junior right now that goes down to the Stingray, so that Nautilus is going to have a real nasty time. Probably going to have to back out if he's not already. He is trying to help that Judy's culture with challenging people, but the Judy's going down. So now the Nautilus on their plat, just trying to stay safe, trying to not overextend too much, which immediately goes and does. To see if he can get a pick, but he's probably going to get punished for this. No, that armor coming out, so maybe, just maybe they can make it work.
I was going to say staying safe, but then decides to go very, very risky and aggressive. I would find that one pick, reduces the armor. The team now coming up and supporting this in-depth push, which allows 2 picks to come off the bat of that. They're also just going to try and find something else to keep this push going, but it looks like they're going to stop there. Just try and, you know, get a more stable push before going for anything risky. I say that, but the machine player pushed up really, really far on that right side. You can see just out the corner of your eye. It looks like just a lot of individual aggressive plays on the side of Dark Shadows, but that results in people getting individually taken out. They weren't pushing together, and it did mean a lot of people went down. It's now a 2v2 situation, so maybe they can still make something of this, but I feel like it's more of an Aether favored situation right now, and yet Maxim gets the pick on the Junior, and Aether are taking back control of the tower, unless the Nautilus player gets 4 kills.
Nah, definitely not. But that that entire push really just kind of came down to that 1v1 between the Machine and the Junior. Like, if that Junior had somehow managed to clutch that out, it would have been an absolute nightmare for Aether to get that back. And they do take the lead. And honestly, on this map, it's not always a bad lead to have, because getting that tower through that choke point can be an absolute nightmare. But still, like, it's definitely not a game-winning push. So I think we're going to probably see them still trying to get some momentum going for the next 2 minutes. But they have to start all the way from scratch now, because only the Machine was alive, and he was still on the plat. So all the momentum right now in favor of, I believe, Aether.
Yeah, that's going to be Aether pushing up now with this control. They do have a lot of control on enemy parts, but not much paint usage right now. I feel like it can be pretty easy if Dark Shadows just start dropping, and that's what they're going to do. They drop right back onto that plat. Maxim does go for the splash out, finally gets the punish bait that you were talking about, and the lead doesn't actually come through. They got off the tower before the lead gets taken, and that's going to be Dark Shadows keeping their lead regardless. I feel like right there, Aether, when they pushed up onto the plat, really needed to make sure to paint it too. Because it looks like they were more going for the sharks, more going for, you know, getting the specials ready and looking for the picks. But they got 0 paint control on the enemy plat, which allows Dark Shadows to just walk forwards and drop off. And that's Maxim getting splash down cancelled once again. And that's going to allow Dark Shadows to get a really nice push here. But the Stingray does come through and even up a little bit with a 3v3 situation now.
Yeah, certainly. And there's also not really anyone by that tower to help them get that push. Everyone's trying to assist from the right side. And it might work out here. No, immediately going down to that K-shot. That was a struggle though, like that Stingray coming out, but the only, like, one person on tower and nobody else was near him, so that push was basically dead in the water before it started. Although, as I say that, the full wipe, well, actually the momentum's switching now, because the full wipe coming out on the side of Dark Shadows. So now maybe they can actually get that lead that they really should have taken last time. I'm still not sure what happened there.
Yeah, hopefully they can take that lead now. It's the Charger player on the tower, so forced to push really aggressively. Rocky actually pushed up alone as the save. You know, bit of a miscommunication there. I feel like Rocky and Kinetsu were going for a more aggressive play, while Maxim and Draken is backed off, which led them, you know, in a bit of a disconnected situation. But they're going to keep the push going now. Maxim and Rocky on the tower, but the Nautilus is not given any attention at all, allowed to get a double kill on that flank. There's only 30 seconds left for Aether to try and take this game back, and they can definitely do it, but it's going to be very difficult now that Dark Shadows have control of the entire map. Armor popped, inkjet popped, they're going to start going aggressive.
Yes, certainly. I mean, we've seen them get to that checkpoint twice now already, and just barely, no, 3 times, I should say, and barely not managed to get that lead back from them. So they've certainly shown the potential to make it. A splashdown again, getting to land for free. I'm still upset. But only the ends up now alive, and nobody alive, getting back on tower. That's the game over. Honestly, they should have been able to take that. I'm not entirely sure that this result really shows what the game was looking like.
Yeah. I feel like a few things I'm seeing on the side of Aether is a team that's pushing up together, you know, fairly well. A team that's getting the right picks, using good specials, but a lot of the time just kind of ignoring sort of painting that become much weaker as soon as you're putting attention into them and can take them out. If they don't get attention given to them, that's when they become these broken, super hard to deal with weapons. Is when you're not giving them any attention, which is why Tenchborough, I think, is a great enabler of them, actually. They're going to be lacking a little bit of paint, which why I quite like the Junior compared to the other team. We're going to have to see if Aether's able to cancel it, but Kinetsu going for a really early aggressive flank right now, but it looks like it's pulling out that out right now.
I'm really confused. I mean, that Stingray coming out at the same time, the armor coming out, and that flank being right there, and there's 2 people trying their best to deal with him as he just retreats back to zone. So I guess in a way, he was probably not even trying to actually flank, more so to just be a massive distraction so that the momentum could switch in their favor. Like, they knew he was going to be there. It was very obvious. Yeah. But how much did it really do? Like, they scored the opening push. That's nice. And they're technically still counting down, but it's not like, oh, well, I guess the 2-down situation is pretty good for them. But overall, I'm not sure how much that really affected.
Yeah, it's going to have to see, but I think they did at least drag some people back to take the opening lead, which is always nice. But it does look like Dark Shadows are going to get a pushback in regardless. They pop the income and they get the control going, but it's still a pretty scrappy situation. Like, both players are lying on both sides. Dark Shadows got given the zone just very randomly. But the Maxim player does go down now, and it looks like the the Aether players have returned back to their spawn point. Going to be charging back up their specials and trying to get a situation to take out Dark Shadows now. But it looks like they have this Inkjet special ready. I'm sure Armor won't be short behind, but Inkjet pops regardless, trying to find some picks, but you pop it with that armor, you get taken out immediately, and now Aether have a perfect situation to start pushing forwards, and it's Kinetsu who's now flanking and taking control of this zone.
Yeah, once again, that flank coming out from Kinetsu, and it looks like it's just kind of the preferred way to play. The missile's ready, being popped immediately, getting 3 people in their sights, jumping out nicely, so one person is just dragged all the way to the other side of the map and has no business being there, so this should, with that Stinger especially, and honestly, in all honesty, just be the momentum switch. But that 10th Umbrella and that Junior just putting up so much pressure, they just cannot break through. Despite, I really like those plays, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, you see, I feel like Aether quite on the same page right now. They're making some nice plays, but they're not always following up as fastly as they need to. However, Dark Shadows right now are playing this excellently. The 10 Umbrella players playing really aggressively, putting these shields forwards and putting on a lot of pressure, and the Norton machine are following up right afterwards. The Junior just staying back and painting, but it's going over well for them so far. They only have 15 more points to break as Alpha's trying to move back onto this zone and help his team. It's a 4v3 situation though, so it looks advantageous for Dark Shadows, and he gets that pick, and there's 2 down on the side of Aether. It looks like the reverse sweep is gonna be happening. Only 10 points remaining. The shooters are the only players that can save this game. It just ends up, and now that's it. Dark Shadows complete the reverse sweep and take the series 3-2 in our first series here today.
Very nice, very well played by Dark Shadows. A completely dominant performance, in especially in the last game, and showing that. I mean, we mentioned it as well. Like a 3-0 for Aether wouldn't have been very representative of this set because Dark Shadows put up a big fight in those first 2 games as well, even though they lost them. But honestly, a well-deserved 3-2, especially as the set went on. I feel like Dark Shadows kind of found their momentum better, and they really started to get a feeling for how to play around each other, whereas Aether was still, as you mentioned as well, in every single one of their pushes, like they never really knew how to work together all that well. Special coordination was there, but then 2 people would try to push up, whereas 2 others decide to back down, and then those 2 that are pushing up just kind of get Zerk rushed and just go down straight away. And you saw that happening over and over again.